we're asked to factor the following expression completely. Looking at our polynomial expression, notice how we do have two like terms here, so we could combine the like terms and factor this using the techniques of factoring a trinomial. But let's go ahead and leave it in the given form, and because we have 4 more terms and the number of terms is even, we'll use the technique of factor by grouping outlined here below. But remember, the first step in any factoring problem is to factor out the greatest common factor. So looking at these 4 terms, notice how the greatest common factor would be 4, and therefore our first step is to factor out 4 from the polynomial expression. So we'd have 4, and let's use brackets instead of parentheses. If we factor out 4 from 12y squared, we'd have 3y squared. If we factor out 4 from 24y, we'd have 6y, so plus 6y. If we factor out 4 from 20y, we're left with 5y, so we have plus 5y. If we factor out 4 from 40, we're left with 10, so we have plus 10. And now we'll factor the inner polynomial expression using factor by grouping. So the first step, we divide or group the polynomial into 2 halves. So again, just considering the polynomial inside the brackets, because we have 4 terms, the first half would be the first 2 terms, the second half would be the second 2 terms. Step 2, we factor out the greatest common factor from the first half and the second half. So we don't want to forget about the 4 out here, so we have 4 times the quantity. Now we want to factor the greatest common factor out of 3y squared plus 6y, which would be 3y. So we have 3y times the quantity. If we factor out 3y from 3y squared, we're left with y. If we factor out 3y from 6y, we're left with 2. So we have plus 2. So these first 2 terms factor to 3y times the quantity y plus 2. Now we want to factor out the greatest common factor from 5y plus 10. Because the greatest common factor is 5, we'll factor out a positive 5 from just these 2 terms. So we'll have plus 5. If we factor out 5 from 5y, we're left with y. If we factor out 5 from 10, we're left with 2, so we have plus 2. Now looking inside the brackets, notice how this product and this product have a common binomial factor of y plus 2. Which brings us to our last step in the factor by grouping technique. We now factor out the common polynomial factor, or in our case, the common binomial factor. So again, we still have this 4, and then we have times the quantity. If we factor out y plus 2 from these 2 products, we'd have the quantity y plus 2 times. Well, if we factor out y plus 2 from this first product, we're left with 3y. If we factor out y plus 2 from the second product, we're left with plus 5. So now we do have the polynomial completely factored, but because we have the product of 3 factors here, we can now drop the brackets and write this as 4 times the quantity y plus 2 times the quantity 3y plus 5. These last 2 expressions are equivalent, but in this form the brackets are not needed. I hope you found this helpful.